I wish they would have had that when I first used a phone.
Okay. All right.
All right, see you
All right.
later.
Okay.
Okay. I love you.
Okay.
I love you, Mark.
All right.
That's how we end our phone calls. No, it's not
Tim.
actually. Hey, I'm Kent Rawson. This is Matt Horn. Matthew Horn. Dr. Reverend Matthew Horn. We're so glad to be here today. We're starting a brand new series called How to Ruin Your Life. And so we're going to give you, for 2 weeks, we're going to give you tips and tricks how to ruin your life. Today is week 1. We're going to talk about how to basically start fires with your phone, which if you have a Samsung
It could be a literal
phone,
fire.
it could be a literal phone fire. Although we're not talking about literal fires, we're talking about like the problems that happen when we say stuff, when we text stuff, when we use social media in a way that's maybe not appropriate, and the fires that can cause in your life.
So some of you might want to think that, oh, I'm just going to check out. I don't have a phone. I don't use social media. But it does. It pertains to all of you, even if you don't have a phone or use social media yet, because it goes back to really how we interact with each other on a daily basis. So social media isn't just Facebook. It's when we text. It's when we're chatting on Xbox Live if we're playing Call of Duty or Minecraft or Roblox. It's Twitter. It's Instagram. It's Musical.ly. Commenting on YouTube videos. It's just simply how we interact with people.
Yeah, there's all kinds of ways, and unfortunately, there's lots of ways that people will use social media in a way that they would never do in real life. Like they'll say stuff to people behind a screen that they would never consider saying to someone. Hilarious story from these two guys. You probably recognize them, Pastor Eric and Pastor Todd. Eric will tell you this story years ago when these guys are best friends, and they've been best friends for years and years and years. And at one time, when Pastor Todd was the youth pastor here, and Eric was one of the youth associates, they were working together, and they did stuff all the time. And something happened where they just they were just butting heads. And so Eric was texting his wife Paula, and basically texted all these things that he was mad about Todd with, and all these things that he was going to say to Todd and stuff. And then he sent it off to Paula just to voice his frustration.
Sure.
And a minute later, he got a text back from Pastor Todd saying, "Hey, did you mean to send this to me?"
It wasn't Paula.
No, it was not Paula. He actually sent it to Pastor Todd himself. So got into some hot water there. Thankfully, they were able to talk about stuff, but man, sometimes we do that.
Well, sure, because you think that you can say things. Unfortunately, his was a mistake, but for those of you who don't know me, I'm a chiropractor in Port Clinton. So as a healthcare provider, I post a lot of things about health, generally on Facebook, maybe some Instagram. And sometimes people can be a little nasty with things that you post. I'll post things about exercise or nutrition, like what to eat, what not to eat. And not this past St. Patrick's Day, but the year before, I posted something about shamrock shakes.
I love shamrock shakes.
Those green concoctions that you get. So,
From heaven.
I don't know. Not if you know what was in it. That was my point. I posted a picture, and then I wrote how much sugar is in it. It's like close to half a cup, by the way.
That's why it's so good.
And how many chemicals and all the things you can't pronounce in it. So a lot of people were like, oh, that's so gross, I'll never have one. Then the claws came out on some people. A couple people said, I can't believe you would deprive your children of a shamrock shake. It was probably you, but...
It probably wasn't. No.
And then somebody else said, I don't really care what you say, I'm going to have a shamrock shake. And then one lady said, I'm glad you're not my dad. You have to be the worst parent ever.
So
Over shamrock shakes?
Yeah.
So
and I don't think she would say that to you, like to your face.
I would hope not.
No, and those are some of the fires that we cause, right? Because we'll say stuff online, or in comments or messages that we would never have the guts to say to someone in person. And it's crazy. And so we want to know from you guys, when have you ruined your life with something you texted or said or posted? All right? So in your small groups, talk about that. When have you ruined your life with something you said, posted, or texted? 6 room guys. All right. You probably heard this phrase. It's got to be the world's stupidest phrase I've ever heard. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Actually, those words are hurtful because my great uncle on my mother's side is the one that came up with that phrase.
You're kidding.
No, his name was Rod Pebble. He said it in, I think, 1823. You have to ask my wife or Google it. I don't remember exactly when, but somewhere around then.
I am so summer.
Actually, I have no clue who said that. I have no clue. It is dumb.
Yeah.
It is dumb. And it is a dumb phrase because it's not true. You know, words can absolutely hurt. We've all been hurt by something somebody has said or posted or texted or tweeted. So it absolutely can hurt. So in this series that we're teaching on how to ruin your life, our first tip in how to ruin your life is just say whatever you want whenever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you want to ruin your life? Just say whatever you want and don't worry about it, right? That is horrible, right? Absolutely horrible. It reminds me of this verse in Proverbs 12:18. It says, "The words of the reckless pierce like swords." Man, people say stuff and it hurts in ways that sometimes hurt deeper than someone actually punching you or doing something to you. Just earlier this month, there was a 14-year-old middle schooler in Willard that ended his life because of being bullied. Words absolutely hurt.
Oh, they absolutely can hurt. If you look at Galatians 6:7, it says, "Don't be deceived. God is not mocked. Whatever you plant will grow someday, and you will be forced to face your words." So I don't know if any of you heard the story. It's probably about 3 years ago now. This lady by the name of Justine Sacco. She was the head of communications for a major corporation, and she was going to fly to South Africa by way of the United Kingdom to visit her family during the holidays. And she only had 170 followers on Twitter, so in the Twitter world, not a whole lot. So she started tweeting stuff, and nobody retweeted it, nobody favorited it, nobody even commented. So she kind of figured, hey, I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're just starting out on Twitter, you're trying to get followers, so you're trying to write some stuff that's maybe funny, and someone will retweet it in hopes of getting more followers. So this is what she decided to retweet on the plane to England. She said this: "Weird German dude, you're in first class. It's 2014. Get some deodorant." Inner monologue as I inhaled BO. Thank God for pharmaceuticals. Yeah, so that's her way of getting more followers, is to have some mean tweets, right? And of course it didn't stop there. When she actually arrived in England, this is what she tweeted: "Chili cucumber sandwiches, bad teeth, back in London, hey-oh!"
Nobody responded, so she sent out one more tweet before she took off on the plane to South Africa. And this is what she said: "Going to Africa, hope I don't get AIDS, just kidding, I'm white."
Wow.
She got on the plane, and it was going to be 11 hours till she got to South Africa. Little did she know at that time, her tweet on AIDS became the #1 trending topic in the entire world on Twitter. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people were bashing her for her statement. When she got to South Africa, she turned on her phone and it blew up. Hundreds of text messages and messages from friends. "Oh my gosh, what did you do? Why did you say this? Do you see what's happening?" Her company actually planned on firing her before she even knew what was going on and she touched the ground. So not only did she lose her dignity in front of a worldwide audience, she lost her job.
Yeah, and the ramifications were even worse. Her family actually had to move out of South Africa. I mean, she lost everything. It reminds me of this verse in James 3:5. "Look how small the tongue is, yet it boasts of great things. How great of a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire." For so many of us, it's just natural to tear down people and hurt people with our words because we are fallen people in need of a Savior. And that's why I'm so grateful for what God has done. Jesus was the ultimate man, God in flesh, who came and lived a perfect life, lived the life we should have lived, and he died the death we should have died so that we could have hope in heaven with him. It's only because of him, because we are so fallen, because we are so eager to tear people down. We need God. to save us from ourselves and to help us. So it's only with God's grace and God's goodness and the Holy Spirit in us that we can even do something else.
So how do we do that?
Yeah, so that's the question. How do we do that?
How do you use God's wisdom to help your interactions on social media? What does the Bible have to say about those types of interactions? While it doesn't say social media, it does talk about our everyday interactions with people. So the main thing we want to get across to you today is that there are other people on the other side of social media. They're real people, and we need to treat them that way. So one of the most deceptive lies that maybe we tell ourselves, or that even other adults or your parents may have told you, is that those relationships that you make, whether it's chatting on Xbox Live or on Musical.ly or whatever it happens to be, people may tell you that they're not real relationships, but they absolutely are. Because when we don't take ownership of that being a real relationship, we also don't take credit when we create destruction.
Yeah, those relationships are real. Even having friends that you only know online, you have the opportunity to do really good things as well, to bless other people and to help. But those relationships are real. The same feelings that you get with having friends at school, you have those with people online.
We get the opportunity to create something beautiful. We get to send messages and build each other up. We get to share pictures and Bible quotes or verses or bits of wisdom that are encouraging to other people, because we can create that sense of community sitting here, at home, or thousands of miles away. That's the beauty of social media. You don't have to be right next to the person. You can build each other up no matter where you're at.
Yeah. There are real people on the other side of social media. Treat them that way. Remember, that's not just some computer right there. It's a real person. So what we want to do is, in our small groups now, what things can we do to avoid setting a fire with our phones? And again, not a real fire, but the fire that causes the destruction and damage that's caused when we say things, write things, post things, when we harm people with our phones. How can we avoid setting those fires? All right, we'll give you just a few minutes, then we'll be right back. There are real people on the other side of social media. Treat them that way. That's the big idea we want you guys to get today. Treat them like they're humans. That's a huge part. So how do we do this? What does it look like? If we were to really do this, to treat people like humans, what would it look like? What would our lives look like? How would we be different?
Well, check out what the Bible says in Philippians 4:8. Whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. And we really like how some of you guys live this out. You can see it on your Instagram.
Yeah, a lot of you guys are really good at this. I grabbed this one from Olivia Gilchrist. She posted this fun picture, and then it was so fun to see some of her friends saying, gorgeous, and my best friend is adorable. I love that. Or Autumn Guest. I love this one too.
She posted something about being a Christian, so everybody that gets to see it knows that she's living out her faith. It's a message of encouragement for people that see it.
And it doesn't mean she's a perfect Christian.
No,
but just that she would say, hey, this is
who I am.
Yeah, it's huge. I love this one from Taylor Jakes, 2005. She posted, everyone, Happy Easter, everyone. And then it was so fun to see some of our students saying, Happy Easter to you, love your outfit, you're so cute. That kind of encouragement. That's stuff that builds real relationships.
It does, but what if you don't have a phone, or you're not on Instagram or Facebook? What are they supposed to do then?
Yeah, thus the sad cat that flew by there. Absolutely. Yeah, what do you do? Well, I think one thing you do is actually do this age-old thing of called a paper and pen. You can actually write a note to someone and encourage them. In my office, I have a desk drawer that has all these folders, and in it is a thing that I call my joy envelope, that I just have a bunch of notes that people have written me throughout the years. This one I grabbed is from Dante DeSalle. I love Dante, he's the man. He used to be a middle schooler, now he's a high schooler, but he gave me this note, just said, Dear Ken, you look so thin, I hope someday I can look as handsome as you. Oh, he did say that.
That's not what that says.
No. At least he didn't talk about handsome. He did say I was
Okay.
No, he said, thank you for helping me understand and love Christ and Jesus. You've helped me realize that everyone is special, no matter what, and that we were placed here to spread the word of Jesus. He wrote some other stuff on that, but I love that. I love getting notes like that, and I keep those things because they mean so much to me. So even though it's not social media, still able to encourage one another.
So you could write notes and stuff them in people's lockers. You could write a note to mom and dad, maybe put one in mom's purse or in dad's lunch bag. You could even write one and tape it on the toilet seat for your little brother to see when he goes pee.
Yeah, hey, that's a great idea. Great idea. And I think all of this is really easy to do with our close friends. I think the hard part is when we get in situations of bullying, whether that is in person, someone getting bullied, or when we see someone online, people piling on, making comments, being mean. What do we do then?
Well, that's hard because if you stick up for them, you might in turn be the one being bullied. If you stick up for your friend and then that crowd turns on you, you don't need that type of people in your life. You want to be the type of friend you want to have.
Yeah. Absolutely. When you see a situation like that, it's almost like a fire. We talk about starting a fire with your phone. When you see a fire, you have two choices, right? You can either pour water on it, or you can pour gasoline on it. I think another option that we do a lot of times, especially in person, is if we see someone getting bullied, we see a fire going on, we'll just try to pretend that fire doesn't exist because we don't want to get too close or else that fire, we're going to catch fire. And we just hope that the fire, the person doesn't get damaged too badly. And so we want to encourage you, man, when you see a fire, don't just stand there waiting for it to disappear, hoping the person won't get hurt too much. Don't pour gasoline on it, man, pour some water on it.
Again, the main point that we want to get across is understand there are real people on the other side of your social media, and we need to treat them that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge. There are real people on the other side of social media. Treat them that way. That's our heart.
It is. It is. Before you go, I'd like to pray for us. So, God, we want to thank you for the good gift of the internet and social media through which we can create, communicate, learn, and glorify you. We thank you for the ways you have blessed our world and made our lives easier because of the internet. We pray that message of the gospel would speed ahead through our use of social media and proclaim the love and glories of Jesus Christ. We pray that you would help us avoid pitfalls of technology like worshiping our gadgets and our phones instead of you, or keeping us from relating to others as you've called us to love. Lord, help us see our time on social media as a way to serve others with our pictures, words, and comments. We pray this all in your name. Amen.
Amen. We hope you guys have a great week. Hopefully, sign up for the Rope, the Rite of Passage experience, and we'll see you Friday night or Saturday.